Hello, it's Mary from Nature Know, coming to you from Durra Country on a beautiful, glorious autumn afternoon in the forest, and talking today about forests as places for human survival and planetary health, as well as being really an important part of our nature connection, and that's highlighted in World Forestry Day. So I'm looking forward to talking that through with you. So in terms of elements of the forest, with soil, it's such a vital part of planetary health. It provides a special micro environment that provides life to trees, to fungi, to invertebrates, to bacteria. It's a living system that provides health to the forest, and it also provides a home to animals and absorbs water in the water cycle, and a vital resource for us. Soil, in terms of nature connection for us, provides so many amazing experiences. From the glorious smells, rich with the bacteria and life, that harks us back to our earliest connections to soil as children, and provides a beautiful array of bacteria that's beneficial to our health. Looking at soil is especially wondrous and fills us with awe, especially when we watch tiny creatures like earthworms, or even looking under a microscope at some of the smaller invertebrates. It's a fascinating place to explore. And when we touch soil, there's so many different textures, and these textures help to identify the soil, whether it's sandy, whether it's loamy, whether it's clayey. And the fact that we can actually touch it and feel its texture really helps us to feel like we understand what soil is and the amazing things that it might be. And we can create things with it as well, which is particularly marvellous if we're playing with clay. And then in terms of sounds, I can just think about how it's wonderful to slosh around in the mud sometimes, and that makes us feel quite joyful, and also harks us back to childhood experiences that often fill us with joy and wonder. Trees are the threads of the forest and provide so many benefits for planetary health. They are home to animals, they produce oxygen, they give us timber, medicines, help us grow food, hold the soil together and protect it. They're an amazing part of the forest and so deeply connected to all parts within it. Trees provide so much to us for nature connection in the forest. The mere sight of the tree, looking at a really grand tree and looking right up at it and how it grows up tall, or even just admiring a tree for its tenacity, sticking in an amazing spot on top of a rock or growing its roots in an unusual way. The experience of touching different textures of bark, exploring leaves for their shape and the amazing features they have in terms of being able to photosynthesize and produce food for the plant, and the amazing smells they produce. And I have talked previously about phytoncides and the amazing benefits they have for our health. We find these amazing volatile chemicals, for example in eucalyptus and also tea tree, and they have amazing health benefits for us just by breathing them in. The amazing smells of flowers that trees produce. Their scent attracts the animals, but also gives us a sense of what the tree is possible of in terms of what animals come to it and how that fills us with wonder and excitement. We can taste trees, having lovely lemon myrtle tea, for example, or other leafy plants that provide tea leaves. We are consuming tea or other tree products all the time. The mere sound of trees, when we listen to their leaves rustling in the wind, or discovering the creaking of branches, or listening to the heart of the tree when we put our ear up against the trunk, all amazing experiences. And just the wonder of being amongst the forest and understanding how everything fits together and how important the trees are as part of that. So much to be said for animals and the amazing role they play with the biodiversity of the forest. So many animals, whether they're small, large, and the role that they play in the food webs and food chains of the forest are not to be underestimated in terms of the value that they provide, whether they're helping trees to pollinate, whether animals are finding homes in the trees, living in the trees, and just understanding that whether an animal is big or small, they all have a huge role in supporting the amazing biodiversity of the forest. Animals and nature connection in the forest. We get a deep understanding of the range of biodiversity and its relation to the forest by being in nature, watching behaviours of animals, whether it's lizards basking in the sun or bird flying through the sky, feeding on insects as they do so. It all helps to deepen our understanding and connection to nature. And seeing animals in their natural environment, especially when it's unexpected, gives us a really deep sense of wonder. And whilst we may not always be able to touch animals, looking at the different textures they have, whether it's fur, feathers, scales, or even something different, we can observe this and explore it through observation and nature journaling. And there certainly is something very special about animal sounds. There may be a special rustle in a bush that alerts us to their presence, and bird calls often evoke special memories for us, especially of early experiences of nature. And while smells of animals may not always be immediately obvious, as we don't get that close, animals release odours as protection mechanisms, and this can help deepen our understanding and our awe of the amazing contribution animals make to the forest. Air is, of course, an essential element for the planetary health in terms of being part of the forest. Having fresh, clean air, which is amazing to breathe in the forest, provides life to the trees and all the animals and plants within it. It's also a flight path for animals. We love to watch birds flying through the sky. And as humans, we get this special benefit of having the oxygen to breathe to help us live and continue on the planet. Air is an amazing feature to explore in the forest for nature connection. Just gazing up and having our eyes looking towards the sky and feeling that breeze on our face, that cooler feeling of having that on your face or on your neck is just wonderful. And we all tend to look straight ahead. We look at screens all the time, but looking up has enormous benefits, from distracting you from thoughts that are negative, and just really being a real benefit and boost to eye health. The fact that slowing down our breath is the bridge to helping us relax, and slowing down our breath is a really big part of being connected to nature when we take our time, say on a forest therapy walk. And we have the air to carry scents and sounds, whether it's the sounds of birds, water. Water is another element that, as part of the forest or part of our lives, is so vital for planetary health. Whether it's through the water cycle as rain, evaporation, transpiration, percolating through the soil, through water running through rivers and streams and puddles, an amazing feature. It provides life to the trees and the animals that live in it, and also habitat for animals and plants in its entirety. Drinking water is a vital thing that we all need to do daily and gives us our life. Water is such a fascinating and fun thing to explore for nature connection in the forest. Listening to the sound, as I'm listening now, is very relaxing. Looking at reflections on the water really helps relax our eyes and help us to think differently and look at the different reflections and ripples in the water is amazing for the fractal complexity and how that really unfolds for us when we're experiencing it closely. What it feels like to splash or touch our hands with water and feel the coolness and how it makes us, I think, slow down quite a lot. And the fact that we can taste it, I guess it doesn't have an amazingly strong taste, but we know how it feels to have water move through our body. And it's wonderful to explore in the forest.